Welcome to episode 29 of the Bikini Besties podcast. I'm Lo.
Kaylia.
Steph.
And this week's episode is called Expectations and Perceptions. But before we dive into our topic, per usual, we'll go into our little prep and life updates.
Yes. I am going to Italy. Yay!
Woo! So soon.
Yeah.
What day is
it? A day?
Tuesday.
2 days. Oh,
Yeah, Tuesday morning. So tomorrow's my last day here, last workout here. I found, in prep news, I guess, I decided on a show. So I decided November 9th to do, Iron Games in Anaheim,
Yay.
Kelly. Just because I get back from Italy 10 days before the one I was thinking of doing, and I thought, oh, this might be a little bit much. So stage is always there. So we decided to do November 9th, and then Cali's a little closer too. I leave on Tuesday, and we are keeping all of my calories the same and everything. So right now I'm at the lowest carbs that I've been at. So I'm at 75. But we are going to try to ease up a little bit on cardio because I'll be walking so much. So instead of 90, we're going somewhere between 45 to 60. But I did find a gym, 12-minute walk from my hotel. So that made me
that released the stress.
Yeah, just a little bit. So Zach and I will be going in the mornings and then doing all the fun touristy things.
Yay.
It'll be good, but
out.
I think I'll still have a couple missed days because the Bachelorette is on Saturday, Sunday, and then the wedding's on a Wednesday. So there'll be a couple days where I'm off or whatever. But overall, at least I have something, that I can kind of keep consistent. But I'm excited. I'm just excited to do all the things. So we started planning little Vespa tours and winery tours and all the kind of things. So I'm just excited to do all the walking and just sightseeing and things like that. But I told Zach I'm limiting the cathedrals because after being to Europe once you see one or two, they start to look the same. If you don't have the appreciation for architecture, which I don't have, it starts to look the same. I'm so sorry.
You know that about yourself.
Huh?
Has Zach been?
Zach hasn't been to Italy now.
Okay. Is he excited?
He's excited.
Yeah.
But if he wants to go, I'll go. But I literally, off the start, I was more scenery and doing things we're making pasta one day, pizza, gelato, things like that. So we're doing things. But yeah, that's my terrible sin of going to Europe. I'm okay, one or two stained glass windows.
And you get to see a lot of them just walking around. It's not inside obviously has more art and things like that, but you get to see a lot of the architecture just being there because everything is so much older.
Exactly. So just the scenery, the ambiance, the people, and so we're gonna try to go to less touristy-ish places. So we did one or two touristy things, but I think we're gonna try to stay more on the south side of Florence, which is more where the locals live and stuff like that. So
cool.
I think it'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, there's a couple things that I won't do when I travel, and one is those tour buses.
Yeah, no.
Where you sit and then they talk on that
on the
thing.
mic
Yeah,
thing?
I fall asleep every time. I can't. I can't do those. And then the other one is just the walking through art galleries and stuff, and you're listening to something about the history.
Like a guide. You're listening.
Yeah, it's just too much. So
She's no.
I'm just those two are no things. But we like to do our own kind of self-guided thing, and so I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I'm just excited to get on the plane because I hate packing and I hate airports. But once I'm on the plane,
It'll be good.
we're good.
Yeah, then you can sleep.
Exactly. Right?
Are you we know you will.
Yes, I'll be out. But what about you
Are
guys?
you all packed?
Oh no, I'm not packed. I would say 30%. I laid out all my outfits and stuff.
I saw on your story you're packing your bridesmaid shoes and your carry-on.
Yes.
It's kind of like how you pack for a show. When we pack for a show, we always bring our suit, heels, and essential things in your carry-on just in case your bag gets lost.
Yes.
So she's doing the same thing.
Yeah, I should have known. That was I should have known. But yeah, I'm definitely in a little mini makeup thing.
Yeah.
So just in case.
Just in case.
You're still prepared.
It'll be fine. But United paid me back for all that makeup that I bought
That's
everything
good.
and then they gave me a little $50 gift card for my next flight. So I was like, that's nice.
That is nice.
Yeah.
I should
Well,
stop.
good. You got something back.
I
for
whined a lot, so I'm like, I have to give them accolades.
Your whining paid off.
Yeah, exactly. But what about you guys?
Oh, where are you at?
Where are you
Just
at, Kaylia?
same old, same old. Yeah, nothing's changed really. No food changes. Just I don't know, just lifting and eating and we're a little less than 2 weeks until I would probably start prep.
2 weeks?
Oh,
or 2
months.
2
Sorry.
months.
Whoa. A little less than 2 months. I think we got like 7 weeks. I don't know. November like 15th, 16th, whatever that is. So, it was like 7 weeks, but
8 weeks,
yeah.
Sorry,
Oh,
mine's
8
7
weeks?
weeks, so it's 8 weeks.
8 weeks?
Yeah, she's like, I know.
Just 8 weeks. Okay. Okay, 8 weeks then. Yeah. So yeah, just finishing out these last couple months. Just I don't know, just enjoying like, not starving. Yeah. So lifts are good. We changed up my lifting is like I actually do one. I used to have 2 upper body days, and they were like a split between delt and back. Like, and now I do 1 delt day and 1 back day. So we took out doing them twice a week, and so I just do 1 delt, 1 back, and not really trying to like push anything, just kind of like maintaining, and then glutes are the focus. So 3 glute focus days, and cardio still the same, 5 sessions of 25 minutes. Steps are still about the same. I get about 10,000 or more a day. I kind of thought, I was like, should I like lower this? Because when prep starts, like, how many steps am I going to have to get? Like, because my body doesn't normally gets like 10 to 12,000 a day. But that's fine.
You're
That's what I normally
keeping
get.
active, which is helping you keep your body composition.
Yeah. Because last prep, weren't you like closer? I want to say like 15 to 17.
Yeah.
Ish, right?
Yeah.
Something like
probably
that.
in the 15 to yeah.
Because I know Lo and I were like 20, 22, 24.
Before cardio. So like after cardio, it would be like probably closer to the 17 to 20,000 or something like that. But, or more. But, because I separate mine. But yeah, I don't know. Like nothing new.
Nothing huge.
Nothing exciting. Nothing huge. Yeah. I do have a show goal for next year already. I'll say it's fine. It's Arnold Amateur again. So that is the show that I want to try for again. And so so February 27th is when that show date would be, which will come fast.
Yeah.
So we'll start prep probably sooner than we know it. And then, yeah.
That's really
exciting. My shortest prep probably. So
Yeah.
as long as I'm ready, as long as you respond well, as long as all the things go well, that is the show. If that for some reason, if something happens, then that's not the show. It'll be Junior USA's again. So just starting from the very first one of the year again, and then we're going to chip away.
Yeah.
And see.
And this time, no regionals.
No regional. Right? This is my first time.
Yeah,
first time.
National
This is my first year that I don't have to requalify. I'm qualified, and we're using that same qualification into this year. And then I don't have to do a regional show. Yeah, and I won't be.
Yeah.
So
sometimes it's like, I get like why sometimes people, even if they're qualified, will do one to like warm up. But with you being so good at posing, and you did a lot of experimentation on your presentation this last year, it would almost be like the money, and then like you put your body through a lot, peaking and traveling and things like that for a show. So it's like, if you don't need to, why not put those efforts into like the show that you really want and like going for that pro card?
Yeah, I don't think for me as an athlete, it's not about, we can always improve and fine tune things and posing and stuff and stage presence. But I mean, even coming out, if I do Arnold, and let's say I have to do, whatever my next show, whether I'm a pro or not, whatever my next show is, I'm going to be better that second show because that's the second show of that season. But for me as an athlete, I don't have to worry so much about the stage presence piece. Like there is things I am fine tuning and fixing. My thing is more so, does my physique show up how it needs to, which is the development piece. So that's like where,
maximize
that
the
is
time.
my,
That's
exactly.
Focus,
So I'll just save money and not do travel and just spend all my money on traveling to national shows if needed, and then if we're a pro, doing a bunch of pro shows and just having fun.
Yes.
Next year. So
I'm excited for 2025 for you.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a really good year.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Super
guys.
excited for
And
you.
I love you on the Arnold stage. I don't know what it is, but like
I
the
love
Arnold
that
stage.
So
right?
that is kind of okay. I love the background. I love
beautiful.
like it's I just love it,
Yeah.
and I want my damn pro card on that stage.
Yes.
You could do the Arnold the next year. So if
Yeah.
you get your pro card at Arnold
Yeah.
Amateur, you are automatically getting an invite to do the Arnold as a pro the following year.
Yes. So
which is like dream.
I told no, for real, I literally told Paul, I was like, because I told him, so this next year could potentially be my last like super serious year competing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll see where life goes, but and so if it is, like, it would be the
Go all
coolest
out.
thing to like try to win the
So
overall
cool.
at Arnold Amateur
Yeah.
Yes.
and be qualified to go do my
Arnold 2026.
Arnold 20, and then that'd be it. Like if that was my final show, like
That would be amazing.
Oh,
We
that-
would
like,
all go.
that would be like
We would all go.
I would literally pay for you guys to go. Like, I'm sorry, but
I would
just
go-
FYI,
Yeah.
if you
We're
guys
going.
are on that Arnold
Yes.
stage, then I'm paying for you to come.
Yeah. I'm coming.
Yeah, like,
We're
no.
going. No, for sure.
Yeah, so that would be cool. So we'll see. That's like a goal of mine. Obviously, it doesn't like, I don't know. That would just be super cool. That's like
Yeah.
in the vision.
Yeah.
That's in the
Yeah.
vision.
Yeah. Manifesting it.
Yes,
I like it.
manifesting it. We got to get the Arnold Amateur overall, please.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so we'll see. But anyways, yeah, just eating. I was telling you guys before the podcast that I had bites of crumble this week, and they're awesome. The crumbles this week were the best they've ever had. But
Favorite flavor, just one.
Yeah, favorite one.
okay, I don't know what they were called.
Pumpkin something?
The maple. What's the maple in the cake one? The
Fried ice cream?
no, that was pretty good. The fried ice cream was pretty good. The maple.
Let me just not pretend I have the app.
It was the cake one in the pan.
Hold on. Okay, flavors are
Not maple bar.
oh, it's
Maple-
your internet.
Maple Square, the Maple Square one. Oh,
Oh, your
guys.
internet.
Square.
It sounds like
And then
breakfast.
Yeah.
Sounds so
the-
good.
the caramel.
It's not loading for
Pumpkin.
me.
Oh, I bet I would have loved that.
Oh my god, the caramel pumpkin
love
one was
Oh,
good.
caramel shortbread. Does that sound right?
No.
No.
Oh, it's new flavors. Never mind.
She's got
Wait,
next
they
week's
already have
flavors
the new
already.
flavors?
Yes, they do. Confetti cake, birthday cake featuring
It's
Oreo,
their birthday.
peanut butter featuring Snickers, and caramel shortbread featuring Twix. I think it's
Ew,
kind of
those
like
don't
that.
sound good at all.
Yeah, these are like the
Those don't
kind of
sound-
Halloweeny.
Those don't
next
sound-
week.
those were
So they're doing
terrible
a bunch of
birthday week.
Confetti sprinkle.
They needed these
Confetti
ones
cake
birthday
is
week.
new. It's actually like a
Well, then
cake.
Keep the pumpkin one.
Oh,
yeah, I
it's a
like the
cake?
pumpkin one.
Yeah.
I like the pumpkin. Yeah, these I could pass on. I could be on prep.
Yeah,
for this
those I
week.
could pass. Those I'll pass.
I still don't. I've had like one crumble cookie ever. Like I've had like a couple bites of other people's like a few times, but I've never. I think I've only eaten one crumble cookie like to myself.
I've never eaten a whole crumble
like
cookie.
maybe two.
I've definitely eaten a whole crumble cookie.
I've never eaten. Do
I
you guys know how many calories are in those?
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Do you know how much happiness I felt after I ate it?
Oh.
Happiness.
I've had bites.
Everything
I'm
was
more of a bite person. I'm a
Yeah.
bite person. I
And
need
No,
got
you know what? It
crumbles
was the
post-show.
minis, and like I think
oh,
I have
minis.
one or
That's
two.
different.
I no,
like
but
a
I think I have like one or two that I like love, like the churro. And I guess I didn't eat it in one sitting, but like the churro one is one of my
Ooh,
favorite
churro's good.
ones.
The waffle one.
Uh,
The waffle
Yeah.
one's good with the butter and the syrup.
Yeah.
I feel left
Real
out. I
syrup?
don't know. I've never. I don't. I haven't tried any.
Oh, I love taste
We're
testing
so
them.
funny. We're so funny. I'm like so specific with things that I like, and then those things I eat like way too much of, and then like everything else, you guys are like, why don't you like this and this and this?
I always just get bummed because like the few times I've gone to Crumble have always been off like during improvement season on like a one-off like last minute like, oh, we could go, like
Yeah.
let's go, and I show up and they just have like
They're sold
pink
out.
icing
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
milk
Oh
chocolate
no.
and like one other pink one, and I was like, I want chocolate, I want caramel.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's only like it's like pink week and it's like all white
Pink
cookies.
week?
Oh
I'm
my
like, well,
gosh.
That literally happened. So I just got a regular chocolate chip cookie.
We're
I
so
was like,
opposite.
oh,
I would have been
no,
like,
this is
yes,
stupid.
give me all the vanilla.
but like I've had it, you know. That's
Yeah.
like so I was just like, I want chocolate.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I get it, I
So I
get
was
it.
like, this is really disappointing.
Yeah.
A letdown.
Yeah,
So
That's lame.
I've never had like a good flavor week lineup.
This was the
So
one.
it's not worth it.
They'll never be
Right.
able to beat this past week ever.
That's so
Cheesecake
funny.
was good.
It was good. Don't get me wrong. It was good. Cody, did you get all the other ones?
The pumpkin, cheesecake, square.
That square. Ooh,
What was
that maple square.
fried ice cream.
I still think
Fried
about
ice
that one.
I saw them. I looked
right.
at all the
That's so
menus.
funny.
Anyways, that's my week. That's where we're at in
That's
improvement
so
season.
funny.
We're taste testing crumble.
Right?
Okay, Lo, your prep.
Yes.
All right. So we are 1 week post show. I am maintaining what I would call my stage weight. So my prep low was about 117 point something in peak week twice now. Um, and then last time I leave the room before I head to the stage, in San Antonio, I weighed around 120 point something. And that's where I've kind of been sitting all week. But with my carbs at 150, 35 minutes of less cardio, it's been fairly chill. And my last check-in on Thursday, coach was happy with our look, and he was like, focus on recovery this weekend. So we went to the sauna on Thursday. I've just done a lot of like walking. I kept my I haven't worried much about my steps. So I've only been getting like 11,000, which feels really low to be. I guess I can announce it 2 weeks out. I have decided and started booking all the things. I'm going to do Southern Muscle Showdown in Dalton, Georgia. It's October. It's the weekend before the Olympia. So I'm really excited to do that show. I think it'll just line up with good timing for us and judging panel and things like that. And it was coach's recommendation. And I like having a couple weeks between my shows so that I can be recovered and fresh. But I was the one thing I've been really focusing on, especially like this whole week, is my posing. Usually post show or like the week of after my show, I'm like, oh, I don't even want to pose for a couple days just because I need to recover. But I've been really drilling my posing because I was watching my posing video from San Antonio, and there I was like, there's things that I did, and I was like, that's not even what I practice. Like, why is my arm doing that?
You're like, stupid low. What are you doing?
Yeah. So I really liked my posing from like Nashville a lot better than my San Antonio posing. I think I was like maybe trying harder or something because I was just so focused. So I've been kind of just drilling some different cues for like my arms and my waist, changing a little bit of like my foot position in my front pose to hopefully have a little bit more glute projection, just little details. Because I was thinking about it and like we talked about it, I think, in last podcast, like posing's the thing I can control. And executing the plan. So coach, I'm letting him worry about my conditioning. He'll tell me the plan and what we do, and I just execute. And then posing is what I can kind of like really dial in and focus and have like my drilling. And so I've been posing every day.
Like 5 to 10 minute sessions kind of thing?
Yeah, more like 15
Okay,
minutes.
15. Okay.
Maybe some days a little longer if I have time. Today I did like probably actually about 20 minutes. I was at the posing studio that Kaylia does sessions for performance posing at. And I just posed in the studio with headphones in, good music, videotape myself. Facing away from the mirror.
Yeah.
Because there's mirrors in the dance studios. And I notice like when I film myself facing the mirror, like I'm looking. And so I really have been focused on like, I look at like a camera or my phone and not at a mirror. Because there's no mirror on stage. And so then I review. So I was like studying my little videos and, Steph sent me some screen recordings of like my comparison rounds and stuff like that from San Antonio. So there's little things like when I turn around, like way I step, like I've been like kind of studying what I do and what might look a little bit smoother and better. So that's my big thing of improving. Cause like no matter what, you can always keep improving.
Absolutely.
And I think that, I just have some goals to be my best. And yeah, I think so, a little, like this will kind of lead into our topic of like expectations and perceptions. Even like, being 2 weeks out and placing so well, I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself to continue to do really well. So I kind of like, even like posting, I'm like, oh, how am I coming across? Like, I want to be confident, but I don't want to be like arrogant, but I want to be focused. And then it's just, I got in my head a little bit yesterday. But just thinking about it, like no matter what I do, like all I can control is practicing and bringing my best, and leave it at that. So if we want to dive into today's topic, we had a couple. The reason we picked this topic, I think you were were talking about it originally.
Yeah, a little bit. Just in terms of, I guess, people's expectations of you when you say you're 2 weeks out. When I say I'm, what did I say? 7 weeks out.
Yeah.
7 weeks out. How we should look, how we, how much we should be practicing, how much cardio even we should be doing. People sometimes even say that, like, oh, you're this week's out. How much cardio are you doing, or what are you eating, and that kind of thing. It can sometimes be a little, I don't know, like just not unnecessary, I guess, to compare, just because there's so many different factors. But I think sometimes, like you're saying, it can just sometimes get in your head, and so it's difficult to kind of.
Yeah, and like once you kind of announce that you're like X weeks out in prep, sometimes we feel like that there's like an expectation of how you should look when you like show up somewhere in person, or maybe post a posing video or a video of you at the gym, like other people's expectations of like, should she be this lean, or she doesn't look lean enough. And I think sometimes that creates like some undue pressure, like that's like you said, unnecessary. And so there's ways to handle that. Kind of have to focus on yourself.
Yeah.
And not really worry. I know it's easier said than done to like not worry about like what other people think.
So much easier said than done.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like in my head and I'm like, hey, Stephanie, smile and say thank you. Thank you. Well, because also like being in prep, sometimes you're like a little bit moodier. Like you're not as,
Yeah.
Well, no, not you. You are like always super happy. I get in my little moods. For sure. Oh yeah, tell Anthony that. That's fair. But yeah, no, Zach would say the same thing. But no, like you're tired, sometimes you just want to just not hear it and just kind of just stay in your lane kind of thing, because sometimes you already have so many little voices in your own head kind of telling you, like you're saying, for like the pressure, like there's these little voices that kind of, I don't know how to explain it, maybe create a little bit of self-doubt within you. And so to hear it outside is just kind of adding to that. And no one really likes that negative sort of energy in prep. So it's sorry.
Oh, no.
Sorry. You go.
I like, where are we going to go with that? What I do is, so one, like I have a couple mindsets. I'm like, okay, I signed up for this prep, this journey, and I am like, I choose to share it on social media. And so people are just going to have perceptions. And like, I just kind of go like, it's part of the job, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, it's part of like what we kind of sign up for. If you sign up to prep, you sign up to prep. Like, this is what it comes with. If you put it on social media, it's on you. You put it on social media. And like, we can't control other people's like expectations and perceptions. And so I just kind of like, this is just what I'm choosing to do. And if people have opinions, it's like, it could be anything. Like anything I put on social media or share, you could have an opinion on it. So I have a little bit of that. So I don't know if I struggle too much with like, I think pressure, because I just kind of like, this is what I signed up for. Okay. But then I have caught myself then, because like being like, I refrain from maybe posting something, or what you were saying about like the comments and stuff, or I refrain from like maybe going to the gym at the certain time, or going to a certain gym, or like we've all done that, because if you're in a headspace, we can't control what people like, the conversations that may whatever. But what you can control is like, okay, today I just can't handle XYZ. And so I'm not going to post this today, or I'm going to be more quiet on social media, or I'm just going to go to a different gym today, just because we needed our me time, or our quiet mental time to like, so that's
stay focused,
to stay focused.
Because you've seen tons of like pro athletes do that, where they, have been really on social media for a certain prep, and then another prep, they're like, ta-da, I'm 1 week out. And they just decided,
what happened? Why didn't you share,
that this prep is just not something they want. And that's fine, because you don't owe anyone anything.
Yeah. And it's such a personal journey.
Exactly. At the end of the day, it's for you. And if it's not adding to your life positively, then like you don't have to.
Mhm.
Yeah,
know?
you can choose to share or you can choose to be more private, just whatever is going to give you the most mental peace,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can feel like that just like going from your day to day is not making it more difficult by like,
Right. You can show up your best,
Yeah.
like whatever
Yeah.
that day or whatever that thing looks like.
Yeah, just not creating more obstacles for you. like,
Yeah.
even just mentally, right?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
prep is like, I
Prep
mean,
is
it's
enough.
hard. It's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, prep's enough. And so when you add those, so yeah, like it's like navigating like those, like you can't stop those comments. You
Yeah.
can't stop. And I almost feel like it's like kind of, you can't like, we can't sit here and say like, be careful what you say. And like,
yeah.
because I don't know, like those people, they're not us. They're not prep. Like they're not in, like some of
Yeah.
them are people that aren't even in prep or
And we're
or compete.
generalizing too. Like sometimes
Yeah.
I don't really mind the comments,
Right,
but
I don't
other
mind at
times
all.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you know,
Sometimes I'm like totally like, yeah, let me
yeah.
talk all about
So
it.
I think
you
it's
know?
practice
But
too
no
of
one
like
knows
knowing
that.
yourself, right? Because I
Yes.
know like, okay, for me, 6 weeks out and less, I'm probably not everyone's favorite person to be around.
Or like you're like a little shorter.
Yeah.
Like you're just a
Yeah, I
little,
know
like-
that. And so like there's certain things where like I'll go to bed a little earlier, like I'll you know, have meals spaced out at certain times. I'll just change things so that
Yep.
I can show up my very best.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
and say no to more maybe things just because you know it's going to conserve your energy a little
Right.
better,
Right.
and you'll show up for the things that matter. You'll
Right.
reprioritize
Right.
which things you have the energy for.
yeah, and that stuff is learned too, because most
Yeah.
things that I do now, it's because I screwed it up before. Like not because I was like, oh yeah, I'm a morning person, so I'm gonna do this and this. No, I've gotten off work and I've been like, oh my god, I can't do this cardio. Like
Yeah.
it's like whatever 9 p.m. and I'm like, I'm never doing this again to myself. Right? And then I'm like, okay, cardio's in the morning for me. But you kind of just have to practice for one, because I don't think anyone is kind of born knowing, you know,
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
where their boundaries are.
Yep.
And
You figure 'em
we've all
out.
practiced. Yeah, we've all practiced and are still practicing.
We still are. Yeah.
Right?
I'm still
Oh, yeah.
finding out
Right?
like this year I found out like, oh, I cannot take that many clients in prep. Like
Oh, yeah.
this year was the
Yeah.
amount of clients I had while in deep into prep and traveling for shows, I'm not a crier, but I wanted to cry some days. I was just like,
Yeah.
I had just
Overwhelming.
never experienced like that as a business owner. Like,
yeah, that
that
stress
was my
of all these
first.
things, and then realizing that you're tired and
Yes.
you can't operate at that 100% that you're used to.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're at like 70.
yeah. So I learned that, and like, yeah, we're just always learning. Always learning. I was gonna ask. This is totally different from what we're talking about, but what do you say to people? So like, there's been times where I'm like having a conversation with someone like in the gym or something. And they're like, "Oh, how many weeks out are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm like 8 weeks out. Like I've got like a couple months." And they're like, "Oh my God, you're so lean already." Like they're like,
Mhm.
like you have to lose more. Like those comments, you know.
Mhm.
How do you like educate? Like, you know, what is your response to? Did you get? I'm assuming we've all gotten these kind
Yes.
of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially my upper body. My upper body leans out way faster. My response is usually, well, you thank you.
Yeah.
For one, let's go back
Yeah.
to the thank you and
Yep.
smile. But no, it's thank you. And, you know, I'm just following the coach's plan. Like I'm just kind of in it. You know, I don't
kinda-
really like, yeah.
I
don't really
kind of
give it
try
a
to
lot of-
educate a little bit of like, because a lot of the times when I get those comments, it's from people who they follow our journey.
Mhm.
They're newer to the sport or haven't competed yet, or they maybe have done a show or two or something, and so maybe they're trying to get to the you know, I'm at the national level, but like trying to get to the national level, or they're watching you guys that are competing on the pro level, and so I try to educate a little and like. Because a lot of people don't know what truly stage lean is.
Yeah.
That's a
True.
different ball game.
True.
Like there's lean
And then there's
Yeah.
stage.
and
lean.
then there's stage
Like
lean.
regular
And like
lean.
lean for a female
Yeah.
is too lean. Like it's lean. Like
Yeah.
Hard
but
on the
then you get to
body.
stage lean and it's like I tell them, I'm like, okay, we do this sport in the healthiest way possible, but you get to a look sometimes like where you look kind of sick. Like
Yep.
you look a little
It's
like
the
extreme.
you know, it's
face,
extreme. Like
extreme.
you sometimes have to get like just so lean that in order to fill out properly, in order to, you know, the physique. And so like I try to educate a little bit of like, yeah, I look like compared to the, you know, people who walk around like normally,
Yeah,
like,
like healthy lean.
yeah, you know, and maybe that's not 8 weeks out, maybe it's more like a 6 weeks out, but it just
Yeah.
depends. Like every prep is different, but
Yeah.
yeah, just like, yeah, this is lean, but then I still need probably about this much weight to come off because we've got to fill off. Fill out. We've got to
Yeah.
like
you
yeah.
get like there's it's shown like you can get over conditioned so that you have room to reverse or feed into a show or fill out into a show,
Yeah.
especially in bikini.
Yeah.
Wanting those fuller muscle bellies and stuff. It's kind of almost important. It's like a what would you say, like a
progression in a way.
yeah,
Like to stage.
or like a tool that people use is by
Sure,
a
yeah.
tactic. It's
Yeah.
a way to
Yeah,
yeah,
a
That's a good
strategy.
a
idea.
strategy.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what I was the word I was
I've
looking
heard
for.
some coaches call it like the oh my god. You like get too lean and then you almost kind of spill. You feel or you almost kind of
Spill out.
You get too lean and spill?
you get too lean so that you can fill out and spill over a little bit. Like you're
Yeah.
Oh.
am I saying this right? Wrong?
I would think a not spill.
No,
because if you're too lean,
you almost
you
get
can
too lean.
eat.
Like then you eat and fill out where you spill over. It's like you kind of like to get that perfect look, that soft but seen lines look, because you got so lean, you were able to afford. Does that make
eating
sense?
into the show or filling out.
I've heard like
properly.
multiple
This
coaches.
is something I've never
I've heard multiple
experienced.
coaches talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've like heard it like on podcasts and stuff. I don't know. I'm not a coach. I don't do this, but
Yeah. No, but I see kind of what you're saying, because you have to soften up the lines. Because sometimes I've seen people get feedback where it's like, when you were walking, I could see too many lines in
Yeah.
your quads or blah blah blah, and like it's just softening things up
Yeah.
so that the water, right?
Yeah. blurs the lines a little if you're too hard and lean.
Mhm.
Yes.
And that's mostly on like the pro and national level. I
Yeah.
would say majority, probably a good 80% of the regional level girls don't actually achieve that.
Right.
I mean, they maybe should if they want to be very competitive and be going for that overall.
Mhm.
But we just see it's a little more common for it's like
Yep.
because it's really hard to reach that the first time you change your body
Right.
composition.
Oh yeah.
It like
I
every
would guarantee
prep
you
it's
almost never
easier.
do the first time.
No,
Like your
no,
first
yeah.
show,
No.
it's probably very rare a first time competitor is achieving
Too
their
lean, yeah.
true lean
Mhm.
potential. Like
Mhm.
your body doesn't like
I think I could see too flat,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But-
Like
yeah, but not.
and you might get very lean,
Yeah,
Mhm.
but not that
that
super level of
yeah,
lean.
Yeah.
it takes some
leanness,
muscle
yeah.
maturity.
yeah.
as
Well, it
well, and
takes
just
not
maturity in
only
the
your
gym.
body learning, like adjusting and learning it, but your behaviors.
Yeah.
Your behaviors, like, because let's see,
Yeah.
like when you're
I
a
know
first time
exactly what you're saying.
competitor, you've made mistakes probably, you've had some bites or you've done some like
Yeah.
you weren't perfect probably. I bet you most first time competitors like
Mhm.
probably.
Mhm.
And there's definitely the ones out there though that have done it like
Yeah.
by the book, but then you learn
Mhm.
your behaviors change like
Or you don't give yourself enough time. That's
Yeah.
that's the one I see the most is that
Yeah.
it's like they pick a local show and don't give themselves enough time because they didn't realize how long it was actually going to take to
Right.
get lean.
Mhm.
I think that's probably something I see that's really common.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 12-week prep.
12 week, yeah. And
Yeah.
women usually need a lot like
Oh yeah.
longer than that. Not
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
not a lot, but it just depends. Everyone's different. Everyone's different.
Oh, yeah.
but-
Mhm.
Speaking of like expectations, though, one thing that I have had on the flip side of like kind of the question you were asking is a lot of times people ask me, like when they ask you, how are you? Because they know I'm deep in prep and they know I've been in prep for a long time and they know I'm like either a couple weeks out or something. They ask me how I am, but I feel like this is my perception. I feel like everyone's expecting me to say that I'm doing horrible.
Yes.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
expect me to be like,
Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm struggling and
Yeah.
it's tired and this
Yeah.
is horrible.
You're like, I'm great.
And I'm like, well, my food is double from what it was before the first show that I did this year. My cardio is relaxing and it feels really good. I'm just focusing on posing and training hard. I actually was like lifting my improvement season weights on leg day on Saturday.
That's
Like,
amazing.
People are like,
Yeah.
don't expect you to say that. And so then they almost feel thrown off to like be like, oh, wait, you're not
Yeah.
struggling right now? And it's like, well, no, I
Yeah.
live this lifestyle. They're like, how do you keep going? It's been so long. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I'm doing well.
Yeah. They don't
and-
have much of like a follow-up question. They're just kind of like shocked.
Yeah. And so I feel like a lot of expectations is I feel like people ask when they're asking me, like I really truly feel like a lot of times they're expecting me to say that it's like
Yeah.
Or
Are you
on the other
suffering?
hand,
Yeah.
or on the like not on the other hand, but another way of that same thing is people in general just expect that if you're in prep, you're going to be in a bad mood
Mhm.
about it
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
I got that. That's actually something I feel like I'm kind of like, I don't know. I've always gotten feedback from others that are like, you handle prep so positively. And I'm
Mhm.
like, Yeah, because like
it's a choice.
I chose it, and I'm doing this hard thing is fun.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that sounds maybe kind of crazy, but
No.
like to me, yes, we have our days where we're tired and like,
Yeah.
but overall, like I'm choosing to be in a good mood about it because like I'm excited to see the improvements I made from the improvement season. I'm excited to like, get on stage. Like I'm just excited for the changes.
Or even just your next check-in, honestly, just like the littlest things.
And so people expect like when they ask you how you are,
Yeah.
to hear if you're talking to someone in prep, you're going to hear like, oh my God, I'm so tired and I'm so hungry and I'm so like,
Yeah.
but honestly, I go like, I'm good. Like, food's down, cardio's up, but like we're getting lean and like, I'm usually, my responses are positive.
And it comes back to practicing the things that we know makes us feel good and keeps us in that positive space. Because I know that if I talk about the hard parts of prep all day long, like then I'll start to feel.
And that's what you live in.
Like,
that's
why?
That's just what you like.
Yeah, for me, I'm so solution based that if something is hard or I don't like it, like something about whatever I'm doing I don't like I said, like an easy one for me is just like working out after work. I don't like it, right? It's not my favorite, but I will do it if I have to, but I try to avoid it. And so that helps keep me in a good mood, that kind of thing. I know that happened to me when I was going for my pro card because I was in prep, oh my gosh, for just over a year. Almost, well, no, a year until my pro card.
Yeah.
Right? Almost.
Longer.
Yeah. No. Well, because I went back into prep. It was a year until I got my pro card, but I took a little break. I think a month and a half or something.
Which is nothing.
Yeah, a month and a half or something. And then I prepped for my pro debut because I didn't want to wait too long to get back on stage as a pro. But that was a huge one, huh?
I have a quick question. Do you think with that question about is it more younger people saying that, do you think? Because like maybe the younger, like newer generation like lives in like that pain. They want to live in that.
I think
pain.
both.
No, I've always gotten it
Yeah.
since 2017. Since I've competed, like I felt like I've always. It's just a common question. It's because I think it's because
a lot of people do complain about prep.
there's social media
Yeah.
and a lot of people that compete, like they're sharing it on social media. It's just kind of like part of it's a little bit part of the thing package almost.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing. And this is not even prep related, okay? I think it's much, much easier for humans to complain than it is for them to look within themselves and like, it's just way easier to complain. So people complain more than they focus on the positives and talk about the positives and like those outcomes. And so it is just easier to complain. And also
people connect over complaining.
Yes, people connect over complaining and when you complain, you get sympathy and people like that feeling of getting that sympathy. And instead of like being like, oh no, I'm great. Like, it's great. Let's talk about like, let's try to motivate you or inspire you that like, this doesn't have to, you don't have to live in misery.
Yeah.
And
no,
like,
yeah.
And so anyways, that's my rant on that.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. That's why, like you say, like I come
No, it's
across
true.
as someone who's in a good mood through prep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's things like where I like there are hard parts about prep like that I struggle with and stuff, and but like I'm choosing not to sit here and complain about them to you because they're just things that like I've accepted that that's part of prep.
Yeah.
And that my outlook on things is like I want to focus on the positive things or the things that I can do or like the progress that I'm making or the achievements I've just had or like what I want to do or my upcoming plans and
because you know how that makes you feel on the flip side.
Exactly.
Like it's a thing that we've learned because I did do a prep where I'm like, oh my God, because I was surrounded by, newer amateurs, we were all doing it for the first time. And we connected over, oh my God, I have 50 more minutes and whatever. But I learned that it's something, that I really think adds to my life and I enjoy it. And so yes, my coworkers, I am eating the same thing I ate yesterday and the day before and the day before that because it's so much easier for me to stay, on target with certain foods, even like closer to the end. I think I posted a story of like I'm on like 9 foods right now that I'm eating, and I don't think it's a bad thing because it helps with my digestion. I feel less, oh my God, like what's gonna fit, that kind of thing. What
frees up space in your brain.
Exactly. And so I think even people that don't compete, sometimes it can look miserable
like
because
it's so restricted and
it's so restricted because you find happiness out of doing, I don't know, food variability or whatever. But I find happiness out of the fact that, my check-ins went smoothly. I didn't have like this weird digestion thing.
It's just
different.
Found different happiness.
I think I talked about this.
I'm like, how do I say this?
I think I talked about this before, but you kind of reminded me with the word coworker, as I've had a specific couple coworkers who they apologize when they eat their lunch or go get catered lunch or they go out to lunch. And I'm like, why are you apologizing for eating your lunch in front of me? What if I wasn't prepping, but I packed a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and I was choosing to eat that instead of whatever you're eating? Like, whatever I put in my mouth and whatever you put in your mouth doesn't affect each other.
Yeah.
Like, don't apologize.
I think that they
chose
have that
not to do
empathy, right? Because they think like, if I was in your shoes, I'd be salivating over what I'm eating over here.
Yeah.
And so I must talk about that or bring that up kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing.
Where they apologize, like, oh, I'm sorry I'm eating in front of you. I'm like, it's okay. I was planning on eating my chicken anyway.
Honestly, that's a good place where I find, like how you're saying, to educate people.
Yeah.
I really jump on that because I'm like, I honestly don't feel any type of way of what you're eating at all. Like, and you shouldn't really feel anything about what I'm like. Whatever I'm eating is making me feel good. And whatever you're choosing to eat today is making
you feel good.
And I think sometimes they think that you're also judging and looking at what they're eating.
Yes.
Yes.
A lot.
And I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
If we all went to a restaurant and prep was not in the picture.
Yeah.
And we all ordered different things, I'm not going to be like, oh, shoot, Kaylia, I felt like eating a salad today, so I must be struggling.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what if I just really liked eating that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, sorry, you're not eating something as calorically dense as me.
Yeah.
Like, what?
But it comes back to that diet culture that we kind of grew up with too, and
very much so.
In social media, just TV, everything.
Where people feel almost like it's a punishment for their behaviors or something, and they're like the restrictive eating something specific is like so awful, and I'm like,
because you must be like being forced to do that, right? And it's like that whole like good food bad food mentality, and it just like it just keeps going. And so I take it as an opportunity to just kind of say, like, this is what I'm choosing to do, and kind of just educate that it's like broccoli doesn't, I'm not punishing myself with broccoli. I'm actually was super excited to come to the fridge and heat this up.
I know, like I have like this breakfast that I've been making right now, and it's like oat bran, peaches, strawberries, cashew butter, dates, and egg whites.
Oh God,
guys,
that sounds amazing.
It's
right.
It's incredible, and so I make it and I bring it to work every day, and so it's like in the morning, like I'm eating a better breakfast than you all ate, and I know it, and it's so delicious.
Yeah,
so
that's my
I don't
favorite.
Feel bad, like I'm happy with like what I'm doing.
Eating, right? That's my favorite compliment, honestly, because people almost like they're surprised. Like I'll heat up my food, and they're like, "That actually smells so good," and I'm like,
"Yes,
yes,
yeah." That actually looks and smells
your food
really
to
good.
suck.
Yeah,
they expect your food to suck when you're like on a diet or cutting, and I'm like, I'm eating fresh fruit, and it's amazing.
And you can make it taste good. Like I understand, like, if you're thinking I'm eating like boiled chicken and white rice, then like I would expect, I'm probably not smelling the best, but you can make like foods that fit your goals taste good, which helps you stick to your goals.
To be honest, one of my like biggest, like a lot of people will always be like, oh, like they'll message me on Instagram like, oh, I wish you could be my chef. I wish you could be. And I'm like, first of all, I hate cooking, so that's never gonna happen. But second of all, like it's not rocket science. Honestly, my biggest hack is I let my food flavor itself, and I maybe use some salt. Like right now, I'm really big into like these like just kind of bowls, and I do like a potato, a fruit, a protein, and spinach. Literally, the sweet potato, whatever fruit I use, whatever the protein is, and then spinach with a little bit of salt. Those flavors that come together, like with the food itself, is what tastes good to me. Like it was what, and it smells good, it tastes good, and people are be like, oh, that looks actually really good, and it's so simple. There's no thought behind it besides I picked some random fruit and a potato and
the
a meat.
Freshness, just the
it's so good.
And you feel good,
and I feel good. Like that is you said the word punish, and that was a good, like, people think that like we're punishing ourselves, like eating a certain way or the amount of cardio we do or being in the gym this many hours. And it's like, it's not a punishment. Like we keep saying this, choosing it, but like we like how it makes us feel. It
Yeah.
is like, it's not a punishment. It is like a gift. It
Yeah.
is like, oh, I'm going to feel good for the rest of my day because I got this workout done.
Yeah.
I don't know, like my body feels good because I didn't eat a bunch of processed stuff that like, I don't know, like,
Yeah.
you know, whatever
Yeah.
a case may be.
And it's not never. That's the other thing.
True,
it's
we
not
still
never,
eat these things.
Yes.
because
I just talked
sometimes
about crumble cookies.
Exactly.
I
Exactly. Sometimes those processed foods do it for me,
Yes,
right? But
yes,
it's just
totally.
there's a time and a place, and
Yes.
I just make a conscious choice daily, or,
Yes.
you know. But I think it's a social thing and a society thing because I used to experience it as a child because my mom was a dietitian, nutritionist,
Yeah.
and so when my friends would come over to my house and be like, "Where's the snacks? Why is there no
They're like, "What are
chips in here?
snacks?"
Oh my god! Like, how are you guys?"
Yeah.
Or what was the big one? A big one was how much milk we had because my mom would like. I think we would almost always have like 3-4 gallon things of milk in our house.
That's
Like
so
there was so much
random.
because we would drink milk for almost every meal when I was young. Like I'm talking like probably under 10. But like I switched over to like a little bit less dairy, like more my teenage years kind of thing. But when we were young, like my brother would drink like a 2 liter of chocolate milk in like a day. Like it was it was a lot of milk.
Man,
And
don't
so-
you wish you could do that right now?
Huh?
Don't you wish you could do that right
Oh,
now?
I was not okay. I was a strawberry milk person. I didn't. I was not a chocolate milk person. I was strawberry.
Oh, I love chocolate.
Chocolate. We're chocolate.
Love chocolate milk.
Like you should know this by now. If you like it, probably not.
That's true. Every single time I get excited about something, I just have to know that she's not going to be excited about it.
I'm not
She
that
doesn't
excited.
like
I'm passing it. It's fine. But yeah, it was like things like that where they would be like, "Oh my gosh, like there's no food." That's the one thing. There's no food in this house.
And you're like, yes, there is.
There is food,
Mhm.
you know,
That's
and it's just like your
hilarious.
idea
Yep.
of what food is. Like,
Yep.
I remember in elementary, like do you guys remember like Dunkaroos or like those little Lunchables?
Yeah.
Yes.
Never
We never
ate
had
them.
that stuff
Never had
growing
them.
up.
Ever.
Oh, I had that. I had
Because,
that growing
yeah,
up.
my
You grew
parents
up
were
though with the
very
real
healthy.
Same thing.
You guys
We
had
both
like
had very similar.
Yeah.
Like my
similar
cousin
but different ways. Like
hated
Yeah.
coming to our house because we always had
Yes.
whole wheat bread, and so
And
like
she
when
wanted
we
white
made
bread,
sandwiches,
right?
and she's like, "What is this? This isn't
Yeah.
bread." I'm like, "Yeah, this
And
is,
it's what
this
we
is
were
bread
used to.
is."
So I didn't even know what white bread was.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
all I had was white bread. And see, now I feel like I had what everyone's typical, like
Yeah.
the typical stereotypical, like
Yeah.
corporate commercial, like, you know, food, whatever.
yeah.
Like that was mine. And so now with now I'm like super, I think, anti that in a way in my day to day. Like obviously I still have like,
Yeah.
but because it's like how I grew up and I'm like, ugh, I'm never doing that again. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Now
Yeah.
I'm like,
Because of how you probably felt and like you
Felt,
remember those things.
yes.
I had the flip where it's like I grew up so healthy and health
Yeah.
conscious, but I had times where like when I started making my own money and things
Mhm.
like that, like I would buy junk. Like, oh my goodness. Like
junk.
my friends, like
College.
even this girl, like, yeah, this girl that I'm going to her wedding in Italy, she reminded me the other day, she's like, remember when you used to go to the vending machine like twice a day? And I'm like, oh my God, I do. Because I was just, it was like
weren't
breaking
allowed
out
at
of
home.
prison kind of
Yes,
thing, right?
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
oh my
Like,
God.
oh.
And like that sugar, it's pretty,
That's exactly how it was for me.
you know, like, and it is
Mhm.
pretty addicting too. And that's how I know that it's also that, like, it has a little bit of that brain. I don't know all the science behind it, but I do think that there is stuff in processed food. that
No,
makes it
guys, I'm
addictive.
listening to
Legit
I'm
is.
listening to a podcast right now. So this guy, anyways, this guy, he like does all these like studies in food. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna paraphrase this as best I can. But and one of the interviews he did was with someone who got out of working in the corporate food industry, and she was a food chemist, and she worked in the corporate food industry, and she had to literally design the food, and
Yeah.
they are tasked with designing the food in the way that is the most addictive.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then they sell more.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she's like,
It's a
I
business.
couldn't
Down
do
to
this
packaging,
anymore.
right?
She resigned.
Yeah.
Like she did it for years. She
Yeah.
was a food chemist.
Yeah.
Like that's where you're gonna make the most money. is
It makes
working
me
for
angry
corporate.
because even just like to see like some of the patients that I have that are struggling with like diabetes and things like
Mhm.
that, it's such a vicious cycle to break out of. And then, you know, even just money wise, how healthy food is just so much more expensive. Like I kind of understand in
crazy.
some situations why you would buy that because
It's just
it's
easier,
insane.
cheaper.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly. If
Mhm.
you don't have that ability. And so, like I said, vicious cycle. And I just, I hate
You
it.
know,
I hate
like
it.
on Instagram, the little like memes or quotes or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a one that's like been reposted a ton of times where it's like my nutritious diet and like versus the American diet. Like,
Mhm.
you know which one I'm trying to talk about?
I probably have seen it.
I can't
but-
say it right now. Like it's in my head because I'm trying to talk about it. Like I can't. But it's like I can't find the words. But it's like, like my like Whole Foods diet is like real nutrition. Just
Mhm.
because you're used to like the American
Yeah.
diet doesn't mean like that I'm having like gross food. Like
Yeah.
your food's
Right.
gross.
Right.
So
or
it's-
you're on a diet.
Yeah.
Because you're
right,
eating whole
like, I'm
foods.
just eating
Regular food.
regular food that like 200 years ago, like we didn't
Is
have,
what
or
we
whatever
Right.
many years
Yeah,
ago, we didn't
exactly.
have Cheez-Its. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I love how you went to Cheez-Its first.
I know. I do love Cheez-Its, by the way. I do eat them.
We
I
like
do.
all the treats.
I have.
and
We
stuff,
do.
so we're
But
not-
they are addicting. Every time I eat one
Yeah.
Cheez-It, I need like 10 more.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
Oreos.
yeah, it's like Oreos, like
Yes.
anything.
Right? Yeah.
For
Yeah.
real.
But just
But-
recognizing it and making better choices and just knowing, that food is always there. It will always
yeah.
be there.
That's the
Mhm.
biggest thing I learned this improvement season, honestly. Like,
Mhm.
even like my bites of crumble, I take like literally, guys, the nibble is like this. It's like my 2 front teeth. I do that, and that's my bite. Like
Yeah.
it's the smallest bite
Yeah.
because I just want to taste it. I'm just someone who wants to know the taste. I have
Yeah.
curious taste buds. That's what
Curious
it's
taste
called.
buds. I
I have
like
curious taste buds, and I just take little bites, and then I'm like, all right, I'm good. Like I got the taste. I know that if I keep eating this, it's not going to hurt my goal.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I've just like changed my mindset with
Mhm.
food. But
I'm
that,
specific about the bite. I can't do the edge. You have to do the middle of the cookie.
Oh,
so I
yeah, there's
cut
lots
it.
of times
and
where I
then
I break it. I do. I
right?
agree.
I'm like, if I'm gonna have a bite, I'm not gonna have a bite of the
Gotta have
edge.
a bite.
yes.
I've done that. I've done that.
I'm like, Zach, you can have the rest. Just give him this crumbled up cookie.
You work to the middle.
right?
Like I ate the best piece. You can have the
Yeah.
rest. Clean it up.
Like a cinnamon bun. Like I had the middle. You could have the rest.
That's funny.
But no, I think it's kind of cool to hear even you, both of your perspectives on that too, because it does affect everyone. It does affect everyone. And I think sometimes being so, I guess, outwardly fit in that way that we kind of promote that lifestyle, people think you don't struggle with it or that you just like prefer that food and that they are stuck here because
No, guys, I
They
would
don't
love
like,
to be
you
able
know?
to eat. Oh my God. Like,
Everything.
Everything.
Send each other,
Yeah.
like,
we
food
send each other,
reels.
like, I
daily.
wish that like it wasn't all processed and crappy for our insides and we could just live off this yummy tasting food. But in my opinion, it kind of is. Like,
Yeah.
And then I wish that like calories didn't count. I wish
Yeah.
that food didn't have calories and we could
Mhm.
just eat whatever we wanted. But reality is we don't get to live that life. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, we just choose to
Mhm.
eat things that just fit whatever our own personal goals are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And sometimes I think I'm like, this is kind of yummy for a reason. Like it's kind of like you get sick of it. Like it's like I don't know. Like I don't know. Sometimes I don't really crave it as much. Like
a lot of times I just crave more food, more of what I'm
Yeah.
eating. I want 2 bowls
Yeah.
of this.
yeah,
You know,
All the time.
then not necessarily do I want a burger, but I
Yeah.
want 2 bowls of what I'm eating right now.
yeah. Exactly.
creamies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, I want 2 creamies.
Right.
Oh, my creamy
love it,
concoction
yeah.
right now is so good. I finally joined the low train and added toppings to
Gotta
my
have toppings.
creamy. Oh,
love
I
that.
don't know. I can't ever go back. I can't start prep. Like there's just, I mean, in
Yeah,
prep,
but you can do
I'll
like
trickle down. In prep, I'm
lighter
gonna like
things.
start here with my creamy, and my little toppings are gonna I'll just deduct for them as we
Yep.
go
Yeah.
throughout prep.
Like,
Yeah.
mine got
Yeah.
simple. Like I'll do like just strawberries.
Yeah.
And it's like fresh
I'm
strawberries.
doing
on a
frozen
vanilla
fruit right
base.
now
Oh.
with that golden puff cereal and those Lily's chocolate chips.
The Lily's ones are good because they're soft. I don't like when
Yes.
chocolate chips or chunks get too cold
Hard.
in my
Yes.
No,
creamy and
because
then
they don't
too
melt.
hard.
And you don't get
Yeah.
to taste them, and it
But
yeah.
the caramel ones stay soft.
Yes, those
Yeah.
caramel ones are good.
They're amazing.
They're so good.
I can't have them in the house.
That's
at
so
all.
funny.
Because I know myself. I know I will snack
Yep.
on those.
Yep.
Like I am so good about like not taking bites of things and like stuff in prep. Like
Yeah.
you
But
know,
you go
like,
through
but-
phases. I told you guys where I keep
I have
like
things.
chocolate chips are in Zach's car.
Mm.
Because that's where they reside. And I will go and get my little bit and then put it on my oatmeal. I have like oatmeal bowls for like when I'm like 8 weeks out, it's like 50 grams or 45 grams and it just
mhm.
gets smaller.
Smaller and smaller. You just simply subtract.
Just subtract
the-
from my favorite meals
Yep.
a day.
But even like you saying you can't have those in the house, it's not even probably like maybe you'd go eat them, but it just kind of mentally upsets you in a way.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just a little like, because again, we choose to be in prep, we choose to do this, but you choose, like, I just don't want to put myself in that mindset. So I'm just not going to have those chocolate chips
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
house.
And it's
Yeah.
just like then I just don't even have to make that decision.
Yeah.
Of, like not
Mhm.
eating it or
A little
eating it.
reminder of like,
Yeah.
dang it, I chose to prep. I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
kidding.
Exactly. Or that little voice inside that's like,
Yeah.
no, no,
Well, it
no,
just takes the
no.
decision away. Like
Yeah.
I don't even have to have that voice happen because when I
Exactly.
walk into my pantry, it's just not there.
You
I'm
don't
like,
even
"Oh, we're
think
good."
about it. Exactly. Exactly.
And so I'm like, well,
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
I'm
and
gonna.
speaking of like you guys were saying like things food's always there. Like I have a lot of people who've been like, oh well, you're in prep forever and you've been in prep for a year and
Mhm.
you did 11 months of prep.
Mhm.
Like and even like with our reverse diets, like it's like you still stayed so strict so long, so it was like 11 months plus a long reverse.
Yeah.
And like things like that. Like we know our competitive bodybuilder life is temporary,
Right.
Mhm.
and even if that temporary is like 8 years, um it's
Yeah.
temporary when you look at your
whole life.
big life.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I know that I'm gonna stop and I'm going to try to have a child and I'm gonna like have a wedding and I'm gonna have all these things, so it's like I know I'm going to have a period of time where I'm focused more on other things.
Mhm.
So it's like, can I push for 2 years? Yeah,
Mhm.
I can, because I have the mental strength to do that, and
Mhm.
that is so temporary in like the long scheme of
Yep.
things.
Totally.
I think a lot of times people are just so used to temporary being like a month or a 30-day thing or
Yeah.
a 12-week diet
Mhm.
or just until I lose 5 pounds or
Mhm.
like things like that, where it's not like I think that's something like if you're living this lifestyle of bodybuilding, you have to kind of realize that it's a longer
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a longer
temporary.
temporary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I've learned too with even just telling people when your show is. I will never do that with like coworkers and people that are not in the lifestyle, because when you finish, they're like, "Oh my god, you should have this. Let's go out here.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
They start
Let's
planning
do
for
that."
you.
And then it's
Yeah.
I find it way harder to say no when I don't have a show, because it's hard to like reason with people as to why. Whereas if I say, "Oh, I'm competing in 6 weeks," they're like,
Agree.
"Oh, okay."
Yeah.
And then it's over. And so now I am going to be forever going for a show. I will decide. I don't care. I
I'm
will
in
be like,
prep.
"Yeah, I'm
I'm
3
in
weeks
might be
out.
a next one.
I'm in prep.
I'm
Just every
whatever,"
time you
because I
talk to
don't want
Steph,
to go for
I'm-
lunch. That is so bad.
I had
Someone's
to
going to
do
call me
that.
out on that.
I had to do that for the first time. This reverse.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm going to take this seriously. I'm gonna, because I know that's a thing. When you get done with shows, everyone's like,
Yep.
okay, let's hang out now. And it's always, let's go out to lunch. Let's go out
Yes.
to dinner. And so this time when I was just like, when people would want to schedule with me, I'd be like, yes, but let's do an activity.
Yeah.
Like, let's go for steps. Let's go, whatever it is. I'm just not, I'm tracking my food. Like
Yeah.
I just was more confident in my decision.
Yeah.
And I actually told
Mhm.
myself, like, I don't need to explain anything. And
Yeah.
it wasn't in a rude way or anything. It was just like, I was just like, nope, sticking to my plan, like my diet. Like I'm not fitting. Or I was honest and I would just say, like, I've already committed to this social event, so we can hang out, but it's going to be an activity. Like I just chose to be more honest this
Yeah.
time. And like, I think just stop like caring. Okay, this sounds so terrible because I care about how people feel. But like I'm choosing to put my own happiness, like
Yeah.
my own. I think I'm just getting older too. I'm like, I'm tired of just stressing myself out.
Yeah.
And if this is stressing me out, I'm just going to communicate and be honest. If these people are my friends, right? My
Mhm.
friends, family members,
They should
whatever,
understand.
they understand and they're not going to
accept
take
it.
it personally. They're going to accept it. And
Mhm.
you just deliver the information in a nice packaged way. But,
And you don't complain.
and you don't
Yeah.
complain. Yep. I
Yeah.
don't complain. I just say, what I do is I act very excited to hang out with them. Like, oh my God, yes, would love to. Let's pick day and time. And then, what do we want to do? And then I just am honest and say, like, I don't really want to eat out right now because I've already committed to XYZ. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
or we can go to a restaurant and I'll just get a salad and bring my food, like whatever you want. Like,
Yeah. I'm just excited to see
yes.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I've just been more real with
Yeah.
that.
I have a very similar situation that's been kind of going this season. Is we have a really good friends, another couple, and she really wants to make me this like cinnamon roll cake that they had at their wedding.
And I bet you want her to.
And I didn't get to try it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she's like, I'll make it for you when you're done with your
Yeah.
show. So every show, she's like, okay, can I make you a cake? I'm like, no, I'm 3 weeks out again. No, I'm 3 weeks out again. But what we've been doing, instead of just being like, no, and just like leaving it that,
Yeah.
Anthony and I have been making plans to go and get, because they will also want to take us out to dinner. And we're
Mhm.
like, not yet.
Yeah.
But so what we do is we've they have a motorcycle and we have a motorcycle, and we meet up and we ride downtown, and we the people who can will grab ice cream, and then I will get a decaf coffee, and
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
go sit at a table, and my coffee is a sweet treat, their ice cream is a sweet treat, and we all sit and chat, and like we literally talked about how like the time spent together is what we really wanted. It wasn't about going out to dinner together. It was about spending time
Just connecting.
together.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're actually doing that again tonight. So
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's good.
it's kind of something. It's like they, I had to kind of explain to them, but we gave an alternate situation that like really, really helped us, like so that we can still connect and still hang out with them.
And then do you want to know what happens?
Yes.
That becomes the habit.
Yeah.
And then you never have to really worry about
Yes.
scheduling. I'm just kidding.
No,
Dinner
it's
date.
true. It's true.
It just becomes the habit to do the like.
Yeah.
Now it's our
healthier-
thing.
Yeah, now it becomes your thing.
Mhm.
And so yes,
Yeah.
then
You get to the point where your friends actually answer for you. My friends have started doing that. We go out and they're like, she's just gonna have her Diet Coke, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, I don't even have to talk.
yeah, yeah. You got me figured out. Perfect.
Everybody knows my coffee order.
Right?
Yeah. Yes. Totally.
Coffee is a very good.
It is. It's
Because you can,
Oh,
in
yeah.
the evening, I get like a decaf Americano. And it's like a sweet treat. Going to coffee with a girlfriend is always a good idea. My boss likes to buy people lunch, and so now we walk to the coffee shop across the street from the office if he wants to buy us something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you can pick something. Maybe coffee's not your thing, but like there could be something like a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
And then like if someone wants to bring you a gift, they bring you a Diet Coke instead of bringing you a cookie. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, managing that your friends learn and to expect,
Yeah.
what you really want. And most people, time after you've explained it, people end up respecting it and
Yeah.
actually just like embracing it because it just
Yeah.
becomes so normalized.
Especially after time. They've spent a lot of time with you,
Yes.
for sure they do.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of one of the most stressful moments that I had in terms of holding those boundaries. And for me, it was when I was interviewing for a new optometry position, and they wanted to take me for lunch. So
That's a tough one.
is that not a
Yes,
hard one?
that's
Because
hard.
I didn't really want to talk about bodybuilding,
Yeah.
but as soon
And
as
it's
I
an
order,
interview and
right, exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
and
So a lunch
so,
interview would be rough because like
isn't it? And
I
so
don't
I
know if
did
I'd
what
wanna
you
eat
said.
while I'm talking.
Yeah, I did what you said, and I was like, well, let's go for coffee because that's
Yeah.
way easier.
yes.
Oh no, it was dinner. No, I love this new place. We got to go for dinner. Da, 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 da.
Oh.
And so I thought about it all day, and I'm like, okay, I need to come up with an excuse because I'm looking at this menu. It was like, I think it was a Mexican place, which is even harder. Because there's no like salad part. Like it was one of those like,
yeah, that
Can't
you know,
order chicken and
everything
lettuce.
just looked like, unless I just got like a side chicken, and that was gonna look. Can you imagine?
Weird.
Like,
Yeah, you
they'd
just
be
got
like, what's going on? So my big fat lie, and I think this was brilliant, was I have to give blood tomorrow morning. And so I have to fast. So I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. I don't know how this didn't line up correctly. Blah, 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 blah.
But like,
And then
as a
I still looked
doctor,
great.
They understand things like that too, and they're like, "Oh yeah."
Oh yeah. I'm like, then you could do the complaining thing. I'm like, yeah, I can only have water. I just don't. But my little stuff inside is like,
That's
yes.
a good one.
Win.
That's a
Right.
good one.
It worked.
Right?
That's funny.
Oh, it's really funny.
Oh my
I have to give
goodness.
blood tomorrow. Oh my god. I've got to
I was racking my brain all day. I'm like, what's a normal fasting thing that normal non-bodybuilding,
Googling?
right? People do. I think I texted Shane and I was like, I got it.
I got it. I got it.
I
got it.
Yeah,
That's
so-
hilarious.
That's a good one. That's a good-
Do you guys ever, we've been talking about food this whole time, but like, so like with like our cardio and training, do you guys ever experience any kind of like other people's expectations, perception type thing, like while in prep or even like off season? I don't know. Like if there, I guess flip the script, like off
Yeah.
season stuff. Is there ever, I'm the one that's in off season. Let me think. Honestly, I think people, the only thing I've experienced, I guess, and I kind of experienced it last time because my last off season, I did fairly well in the beginning-ish, but this one was way better.
Mhm.
But people thought I would look heavier than I do.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. Given your weight, you mean?
No, just because I
She's in
think
off-season,
what's really
so,
common
yeah.
is people, when you're in off
Oh.
season, it's like,
You put on more weight.
They're like, "How come you haven't gained more weight?
yes, yeah.
You haven't competed in a while."
Yeah, they're like, yeah, or this time I got like, when's your next, are you competing again? Like, when's your next show? Like, are you in prep? Like, not, maybe not right now, but like probably like a month or so ago
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and
yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, oh, are you still in prep? Or like, when's your next show? And I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, not till next year, probably. And they're like, those comments. And so
Yeah.
just like educating them and like, I'm trying to
Yeah.
like stay more like tighter this time because it's a shorter. Really, I'm trying to stay tighter this time because it's a shorter off season, and I am going to be starting prep soon, and I want that prep to be a lot easier and
Yeah, and just again, the education
educating.
piece.
Yeah.
I think with the cardio question, and not so much now because I feel like I have better platform of delivering like honesty of what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when I first started, I almost had to like, I almost wanted to like not first start, but when I was doing my national circuit, sometimes I like wanted to hide that I was doing 2 hours of cardio a
Yeah.
day because I felt like that wasn't cool. Because I mean, there's given
Or that
some
you would be
people,
judged.
yeah,
that you would be judged.
and because like the people who posted, oh, I'm getting lean doing no cardio and eating all this food
Yeah.
was the highlights that you were seeing on
Yeah,
social
and
media.
I feel
so
like that
you-
was a phase of bodybuilding
Me too, because I feel like now
'cause
it's
now
more
it's
normal for
different.
people
Now
to
it's-
talk about the reality. Like,
yes,
like more honesty, but there used to be lots of coaches that would post their athlete X weeks out and then to stage and be like
no cardio.
yeah, their prep done with 20 minutes of cardio 3 times a week or 0 or whatever, and I felt
It was
the
almost
same
like
where
a
you
bragging
did.
rights if you got
Yeah.
to do less cardio.
Yeah, like she won without doing cardio.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it
it's
was like
well, that girl
better.
had to struggle because she didn't have
Now-
a good time.
Yeah.
there are. I'm gonna go. There's two ways of thinking with this.
Some people have a badge of honor of struggling harder than others.
Yeah.
but like some people are just genetic. It's just their genetics. They just
Absolutely.
like get to not have to do that much, right? Or
Yeah.
they get to eat more. Like
Yeah.
it's just their genetics. Like
Yep.
My opinion is for the coaches, like to use that as marketing is kind of like, well, that's how that person's always been.
It has
like,
nothing to do with
it has
your
nothing to do with
coaching.
your coaching.
Yeah.
So there's my opinion on that.
Yeah.
But then I've known plenty of athletes and girls and it's kind of my goal right now is that they worked for that. They worked for that
Their
metabolism.
off-season.
They put in years of meticulous tracking and doing everything their coach told them to do. And they got to, in a sense, have an easier prep than
Yep.
others.
Yeah, because they laid the foundation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think those coaches and that athlete can kind of brag.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
you did the work.
But they
like-
do it in a different way.
Yes.
Because they have also been there, and so they're very conscious of the
how they
fact.
communicate it.
Exactly, because they've been that girl, and so they will never ever put that down because they were her before. But they want to show that you can
achieve
get
this if
better.
you put the work in, and that's kind of how they communicate it.
Yes.
Like,
And so I'm
she
here for
started
that.
here, right?
Yeah.
She started here doing 2 hours of this and whatever, but over the span of maybe 5-8 years, she worked to be able to now be here.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, 'cause
or
I think
even
you-
even your prep.
That's where I am right
like,
now.
the first show. Like I had that with my first 2 shows. Those first 2 shows, I had to grind. I got up to 2 hours of cardio at like 75 carbs, and then the last show, because I did all that, my body just responded and I got to eat into the show, and I got to, while losing weight, and like I just did that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but I put the work in. You put the work in.
And this is probably the first prep that I've been able to do that, and it's been since 2017. So it takes time because genetically I'm someone who has to push harder to get leaner, but I have put in the time and got enough lean muscle that now it's a little bit different.
Yep.
But I think in the past that I had there was always just a weird like, do you share, like sharing that? Was it like,
Right.
do you hide that? I don't know. I felt like that was kind of a weird.
This was my first
situation.
prep. This last prep was my first prep having to get up to that kind of cardio. 2 hours. I've never had to do that. But what I realized, and so I was I'm be honest, I was a little bit nervous to like share that. I don't know. There was hesitation. Okay. There was like hesitation to be like, yeah, I'm at 2 hours of cardio, because I was also with a new coach. And so I almost had these thoughts. This is that perception thing. I had these thoughts of like, oh my God, these people are going to think that like I'm judge, like this coach is doing things wrong, like bad or like whatever. But then I was like, wait, I'm doing incline walking compared to how I did cardio. I used to live on that Stairmaster. My heart rate was at like, for me, it was high at 140, 150. Like hard cardio for 50 minutes, like 45 minutes straight, like dying 7 days a week, no break from cardio. Like it was just a different thing.
Yeah.
I just was not recovering. I was super sore and fatigued.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this prep, I'm doing some incline walking, heart rate not that high, not as high.
Yeah.
It's still effort. It's still intense and
Yeah,
hard.
it's still
It's still
intentional.
cardio, but like it was just, I was able to recover. I felt better throughout the day
Yeah.
after lifts. Like it was just better for my body.
Yeah.
So I had to educate people and explain that.
And that improvement also looks different on everyone.
Everyone.
Right? 'Cause
Yes.
like you're saying, like I used to live on the Stairmaster too. You do like 90 minutes on the Stairmaster when I was first starting, and it was looking back, I'm like, how
did I do that?
How?
I used to do HIIT, like
Yeah.
sprints
Yep.
and like
Same.
crazy HIIT.
Yeah. So I've improved. I still hit in the last 2 preps 2 hours of cardio walking. And so if I tell someone I'm doing 2 hours of cardio, they're thinking, oh my God, you're dying. But like you said, it's like, it's
better on the
bliss.
body. It's less. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just,
And so
it's
that
more
little
manageable.
improvement,
And
yeah.
like, but you're still exhausted though.
Yeah.
Like you're still going to be tired and exhausted. It's still energy and effort you're having to put out.
Yeah. It's more
but
time.
It's
than
more
effort.
time. Yeah. That's hard. But like,
Yeah.
it's just so much better for you physically.
Oh,
even-
100%.
I think even mentally. But
I could show you, right? Like
Yeah.
even just on stage, I'm like, it's like night and day.
yeah.
Like how we used to do HIIT versus list
Yeah.
and how it's relative. Like
Mhm.
better is relative. And that's why it's really your journey at the end of the
Yes.
day and just focusing on yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to learn that
Yeah.
list prep.
I don't think we use the phrase yet, but the comparison game is a big thing. We compare ourselves to others just naturally, like, social media, in the gym,
Mhm.
seeing what other people do, because you want to be relative. Like you ask people like, oh, what's your cardio at? Because you're just like wondering, like, what do other people do?
Mhm.
Am I doing this right? And like, because there's a lot in the process, especially if you're newer into doing this, you're like, is this
If
what I'm
you're-
supposed to be doing?
I
Right.
think if you're
Um,
newer, I feel like this year, it was the first year that I actually I didn't care what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, because it doesn't
I
matter
was in my
anymore,
lane.
because
Yeah.
you know what it takes now.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
you just trust your coach.
Yeah.
You trust the process. Where like when we first started out, it was almost like research.
We were learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were like-
we were learning.
okay, so this is what my coach is saying to do, but what are other people doing too?
I
Mhm.
guess maybe, yeah, you're right. I still pay attention because I listen to podcasts and I watch people's things.
Yeah,
and so
we learn in a
you're
different
hearing
way.
it there. Yeah, you learn
Yeah.
it in a different way, maybe indirectly
And
rather
we've
than
also learned to filter too, where we're like, oh, that
Yes.
could work for someone else, but that won't work for me.
Yeah, right,
You know?
right. Mhm.
With the cardio thing, I've kind of just embraced the fact that the thing that people, praise me for of having like bigger glutes, that sort of thing.
Right.
It has the negative con of the fact that I will always have to do more cardio because it stays with me.
It takes more to get it off.
Right?
Like,
Yeah, it does. It
Mhm.
does. And like, I don't know. I think once I came to that realization, and I think sometimes you can almost put athletes in 2 different buckets of people that have an easier time leaning out or genetically have an easier time leaning out, and then people who genetically have an easier time building muscle.
Mhm.
And I genetically build muscle faster,
Mhm.
easier, or whatever. And so I don't know. I just feel like there's pros and cons to both.
Yeah, totally.
And that
totally.
kind of makes it great,
Yeah.
like in different ways. And
Yep.
so I don't know. I think it's just kind of something you kind of accept and come to peace with. And so I have all my Netflix stuff lined up, my podcast lined up. Because
Like, this
Your
is my
games.
life.
if I'm starting, my games, exactly. If I'm starting prep, we're going to be on this treadmill.
Yeah.
This is just
Right.
how it
And then
is
you
for me.
also, I think, sorry, one more thing. I also think that I have no problem with it because I know that it gives me the result that I want.
Mhm.
Because if I, was a 20-minute cardio girl and I got up on that stage, I would be so unhappy with my physique because it wouldn't get me the results that I would want, like the physique that I want. And so
Mhm.
like when I'm doing it, I'm more thinking like, yeah, this girl, I've outlasted the last 4 people that have been on the treadmills around me, but I'm getting towards I'm like one step closer to that physique that I want and that show that I want and those results that I want.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And just overarching theme of everything, it's your mindset and how you look at it, and it's like
Mhm.
how you choose to respond to what it takes for your individual body too.
Yeah.
So just keeping that positive, like, that you choose this, and everybody has to do something a little bit different because we're not all the same and we're
Yeah.
not built the same. We all have different chapters that we've been through. Some people have been athletes their whole life and have a lot more muscle, just that is already there, and
Mhm.
some people have to grow still. Some people start out later in life. They could be 50 years old and never lifted weights in their life, and they can still be a competitor. They're clearly going to have different like needs and
Challenges.
requirements
Right.
and
Mhm.
challenges than someone who's 20 years old, fresh out of college, but they've been a club soccer player their entire life.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, they're going to have very different requirements.
Mhm.
Even like on a cardiovascular level, like, you know, how their heart rates respond and
Yeah.
things like that. So it's just, you can't compare like your chapter 1 with someone else's chapter 10. And,
Yeah.
you know, like there's like just when you're like just managing kind of like your perception on like how other people's preps are doing too. Like some people are better at handling it mentally than other people too.
Absolutely.
Some people struggle more when they're faced with adversity and challenges and issues, and some people are, it's easier for them. And
Yeah.
some people have had to progress to make it easier.
And some people
Yeah.
have practiced. Exactly.
They've practiced
Exactly.
making
Yeah,
it
that's true.
easier.
And sometimes it's kind of nice that we all have these different challenges, because that's why we follow each other's journeys, and that's why like
We learn, we take little bits and pieces and
Yeah.
we can learn
and
from them.
and then we also like, you know, root for each other.
Yeah.
You know, because we know that, you know, this has been a problem for this athlete before, and look, you know, even though she didn't get first to that show, look at what she overcame.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and then you're like, wow, that's amazing for you. Like, I don't know, I feel like that makes it
Yeah.
that makes each athlete different, and that's why you're kind of drawn to their uniqueness.
And that's exactly why we share everything on here too, you know, to be relatable and to let people know kind of like what others have gone through, like what we've gone through, and
Mhm.
you know what we've noticed and what we've experienced over the years. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It creates a nice community.
yeah, it does.
Mhm.
But I think
That wrap?
yeah.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
think
that
that wraps
it
it up for episode 29 of the Bikini Besties.
Oh my God, we're almost
podcast.
30.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Next one.
Right?
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.